Next is a request to speak from Dr. Richard Baker regarding the Oslo boat ramp. Good morning. Welcome.
Thank you very much, Commissioner O'Brien. And good morning, Commissioners, and Deputy Administrator and Attorney. Sorry about your broken arm. That happened, I think, a day before the American Assembly. And I know you showed up a bit.
Right.
But you were sorely missed.
Yeah.
And I hope you're recovering all right. This is about the Oslo boat ramp. But before we get started here, I'd like to point out that Audubon and the County Commission and the county have really worked together over the years. Maggie Bowman was a long-time county commissioner. She was president of our Audubon Society. And it was during that period that we bought the Oslo Riverfront Conservation Area. So we worked together. We helped pass bond issues. Two of them, and we purchased 35 acres of parcels for almost 10,000 acres of conservation lands. Do I move this forward?
Can you use the mouse?
Okay, this has a pointer on it too. Won't work on the screen. We've worked together as has been pointed out, the previous speaker, you really have only one county employee that's really looking after all your conservation lands. But PIS, or the Audubon, has trained 200 plus volunteers for the county conservation lands in the past 14 years, guiding people, trail clearing, and removing invasives. We have actually, and we appreciate you giving approval for us to build our Audubon House, a community center. And it's being built, and we're looking forward for a celebration. This is going to be also our 50th anniversary of Pelican Island Audubon Society, and so it's kind of nice that the building is finishing up at this particular time. We are going to help you for one of your commitments that you gave to the Florida Community Trust, and that you said the county would provide a picnic pavilion down at Orca when you bought the land to the south of the road. You said you'd provide educational classes, environmental classes and programs, and you said you would do some volunteer guiding training. Our Audubon's going to be doing that for you. So you can write to the state and tell them that you're fulfilling some of these obligations that you originally said that you were going to do when you purchased the land. Okay. This is the area, the Oslo Riverfront boat area. And you see the green in there. And this is a map from the St. John's Water Management District outlining the seagrasses in Indian River County. It's adjoining, I don't know, we have no pointer here. But to the left of the green, and the green is the seagrasses that are occurring in the county. And by the way, these are the best seagrasses that we have in our county. You can probably take all the maps, all the green from the rest of the county, all their maps, and it's probably about that same amount. So I would guess, and especially now when the seagrasses have died in the lagoon, that 70% of all the seagrasses in our county are what you see in that picture right now, and a little bit going further south. The part to the left of the green, the bright green seagrasses, is the Orca, or the Oslo Riverfront Conservation Area. And 3/4 of that is mangroves. A little bit of upland to the west. So it's a very large area. The current dock is surrounded by the Oslo Riverfront Conservation Area. The lush seagrasses are in a aquatic preserve. And I use the word lush seagrasses because that's the word you use in your manatee protection plan when you're describing the Oslo Riverfront Conservation Area, the seagrasses there. They are lush. And this was back in 2004. It's in an aquatic preserve, as I said, a federal shellfish area, a bird rookery, The bird rookery actually is home for in the top 10% of the brown pelican mating in the whole state of Florida. It means 10% of all the brown pelicans are mating out at that rookery. You don't really want to mess with this. It is one of our most important conservation areas. And I'd be happy to take you all down there to walk around and see those seagrasses. You don't even have to get out in the water to see them. I'm here, though, to talk about Commissioner O'Brien's letter that he's been sending to folks. I think you actually have received a copy, too. When they have written letters to you of showing their concern or giving their concern for this project. He says in the second sentence, unfortunately, some erroneous information is being circulated about the project that I would like to clarify for you. I know you can't read that, so I'm going to go into a little bit more detail. First, Commissioner O'Brien's email statement is, the project is not an expansion project. Oh, but it is. This is Oslo Road that we're talking about paving. I'm standing here, and it's about almost half a mile down to the ramp. You can see that just behind the first set of trees there are oak trees, possibly some pepper. But beyond that, it's pretty much mangroves all the way down. And you can see the mangroves are coming right up to the edge of the road. It's been a pervious road, or porous road, that has been there for over 50 years. And most of the traffic that comes down that road is not boaters, but people coming from the car dealerships up on Oslo Road and US 1, taking out their new cars or the cars that they're buying and testing them out down Oslo Road. And so a lot of them race down that road. And that causes a lot of the problems that are probably there. St. John's, this is the St. John's River Water Management District, August 22nd, 2013, technical staff report. The county plan calls for widening and paving almost half a mile road by cutting 2 to 32 feet into the mangrove forest on both sides of Oslo Road, filling in 1.41, and actually they think it's 1.7 acres of mangrove snook wetlands, expanding the road and trailer parking by approximately 42 feet into the wetlands on the south side and 25 feet on the north side to accommodate larger boats with larger motors. Another statement by Commissioner O'Brien. The existing channel, which has been there for over 50 years, is not being lengthened, widened, or deepened. Oh, but it is. The county plans to dredge 2.5 feet deep, 110 feet seaward, 12 to 35 feet wide into lush, again, the county manatee protection adjective, seagrass beds, and spotted sea trout nursery. Isn't this an expansion, Commissioner? Commissioner O'Brien's other statement, there will be no dredging in any of the seagrasses as a part of the project. But yes, there will be. This is two slides from Lang Sykes' video that he's taken. And many people can get out there and walk around and see the lush seagrasses that are found there. There's also some secondary impacts, because once large boats get down there and start using the ramp, they will tend not to stay in the natural channel that is there, but will tend to move out into the seagrass areas that are adjacent, causing problems with the seagrasses there. Actually, we use this area for students to go snorkeling and canoeing, and they learn about seagrasses, mangroves, and animal life at the Oslo boat ramp. These are kids with a snorkel and screen. They go out there, they can see the seagrasses. This is kind of gives the recent history of the Orca Road ramp. On the upper left is the old ramp that was built in 1977. There was a little bit of dredging at the toe, and you can see the sand has moved in there a bit. And then the lower left is where I walked out and photographed looking west. On the right is the new ramp that was put in April 2009, and with a couple of docks going out on either side to help facilitate going in and out. Audubon thought we had a deal at 2009 in April. The associate director from the St. John Water Management District came down, and we met, Audubon and county staff met with them in the boathouse at the Oslo, or at the FMEL. And we came up with a deal that, yes, we can change the ramp, put a new ramp in. Yes, we can put in the docks. And then they said, well, we really need to dredge 25 feet from the end or the toe of the ramp out so that boats, when they're going down the ramp, their motors won't get stuck. We agreed to that, which was one horrible mistake. But we were trying to work with the county in getting this project done. There was no discussion about dredging out into the further out. There was no discussion about the road. There was no discussion about extending the ramp. We thought the deal was done. November 2009, 7 months later, then we hear about, well, you want a new dock, more dredging, a paved road, and then a large parking lot. This was not on the table. So the county continued to hire GK Environmental. You've hired them on this project since 2003. They've been really happy, I think, for the job. Let's move on. Another one of O'Brien's statements: the county believes that the removal of muck will have beneficial impact on seagrasses and wildlife in the area around the boat ramp. Oh, but it won't. What is muck? It's fine organic sediments, a natural product of dead vegetation, and serves a part of the lagoon food web. All those mangroves that you see that are adjacent to the lagoon are producing leaves, and they're producing the next step in the food chain so that fish and other animals all the way on up, including humans, can survive. It's a natural product that's out there. This muck, though, however, when you dredge the 25 feet to the first 25 feet at the end of the ramp, is a collection place, because muck, which is a natural organic product, actually the county attorney calls sometimes dust, when he was applying for a violation trying to get things approved. But it's a natural product, and this amount collects in that 25 feet, the muck. It goes down to the lowest level. So if you had not dredged the 25 feet, there would be no muck or silk there. If you continue to dredge from 25 feet out to 210 feet, you're going to have a lot of muck, because all that the leaves from the mangroves are going to be coming into that area. That's where all the muck's going to be heading up. So you're going to have continuously a problem with it. Let's go back to this photograph here. If you take a look at the lower left-hand picture, you see the way it used to look. And it's pretty clear. It actually even has a little bluish tinge. If you look at the lower right-hand area where the 25 feet were dredged, you can see it has a kind of a brown, kind of ugly looking look. That's because you dredged out that 25 feet. If you're going to dredge out 200 feet, you're going to have that ugly-looking brown material all the way out to 2010. That it's a big area, and it'll spread out. When you remove the first 25 swing, I was down there watching you do that. It wasn't muck that you were taking out for that toe at the end of the ramp. It was sand. You had a big pile of sand in the middle of in the parking lot, and it wasn't muck. So you are proposing now, when I see your plans, you're going to dredge out, take out 210 feet of sand. You're going to put it out, again on the ramp, but you're still going to have to take out that 25 feet of muck, which is going to be a problem for you. And where are you going to store it? Where are you going to do anything with it? Pardon? So let's get to another Commissioner O'Brien's statements. Paving Oslo Road will eliminate the runoff of dirt and silt that has been a negative impact on adjacent seagrasses. Seagrass habitat will be improved by this project. Oh, but it won't. What evidence does Commissioner have for these statements? Unpaved road has been there for 50 years and has the lushest, most highly productive seagrass beds in the county, flourishing right there. The county's best nurseries are there for the spotted sea trout, the snook, red drum, and tarpon. A paved, non-porous, hard surface material will harm seagrasses with the oil, the rubber, and other contaminants that was mentioned earlier. This was a shot taken of people out. It's a great place for people who like to go wade fishing. This is, you can see how the blue, this is taken before 2009. Doesn't look quite that nice now. O'Brien is right, because there is some muck out there. There is the things coming from that 25 feet that you already have dredged. What you should really do, in my opinion, is go back to that 25 feet that you dredged out in 2009 and fill it back up with sand. That would be the best thing you could do for the lagoon, for the seagrasses there. Let's take a look at the manatees that you have. This is from the county's own 2004 Manatee Protection Plan. There are 5 areas in the county that have manatees. They're shown in yellow. If you look at the yellow places there's some in the Sebastian River, across the river, the inlet, down by the Hobart Landing. There's a small group there in the canals that were dredged there, around the power plant. But you see the largest area for manatees is right at the Oslo Riverfront Conservation Area. And if you look, we counted up, and David Cox helped me with this. If you look at the killings of or the deaths of manatees in the county, 40 of them occur in the South County area. Only 21, Commissioner Bryan, occurred between the bridges, where you have the Riverside ramp, you have the McWilliam Park, which provides plenty of space. So you don't have a killing zone down at those 2 areas. The killing area is at the Oslo boat ramp. So to alleviate that, one of Commissioner's, hey, I do have a pointer, statement was, as a part of the ramp project, the county will change this area to year-round slow speed. Making all boats go slower year-round will provide additional protection for manatees, as well as providing a safe habitat for juvenile fish. We agree with this. But you don't need to do this $1 million project to put these signs up. It could be done a lot less. It can be done without this project. And why haven't you taken this action before? And how are you going to enforce it? Finally, this is towards the end of O'Brien's statements. Finally, the Oslo ramp has always been and always will be a ramp for smaller, shallow draft boats. The shallow angle of the concrete ramp, in addition to the short length of it, make it a physical impracticality for the larger boat to be able to launch from this ramp. Well, Commissioners, why spend $1 million to muck up the boat ramp if it's not for larger boats? It's fine for smaller boats. Why are you required to do any mitigation, 20 acres, if you are doing, all you're doing is improving this ramp? It doesn't really make much sense. Lastly, I hope this helps clarify for you some of the many benefits of the ramp project and clears up some of the misinformation that is circulating about. Clearly, Commissioner, you have misinformed the public. The project is costing both of us a lot of money, which could be used for training volunteers for our county conservation area. Why do this project? Commissioner O'Brien, you still have a chance to have a vision and take the lead for the recovery of the lagoon to support our fishing industry, our shellfish industry, our tourist industry, and I'm glad to see the tourist folks here, our bird, manatee, dolphins, and fish, our kids' future, our tax dollars, and our economy. Commissioner O'Brien, you can still be a hero. Lead the county commission to vote to protect this dock area. Keep it from further muck removal and dredging and paving Oslo Road. Do this today and cancel an administrative hearing tomorrow. That is scheduled for 9 a.m. and the administrative hearing just across the hallway up on the second floor. And we can, Audubon and the community can work together for our environment and our community. If the county wants to compromise, it should ask to continue the hearing for 30 or 60 days while we discuss settling, and we would be happy to explore modifying the project so that the county attorney, so far the county attorney, as you hear, has refused to even attempt to negotiate in good faith. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Baker.